Urgent Chicago Bears fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here, we bring you daily videos with the latest Chicago Bears updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey there, Bears fans! You know, when we talk about the Chicago Bears, there's always something brewing, something exciting just around the corner, and this offseason has been no different. The Bears have been wheeling and dealing, making bold moves, and really trying to set themselves up for a competitive season ahead. And honestly, if you've been paying attention, it's clear that on paper, the team looks significantly better than it did just a few months ago, back in March when free agency officially kicked off. The roster has been reshaped, and while we've seen some notable signings, there's still a lot of buzz about what might be coming next, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Now, you might be asking yourself, what's the big scoop? Well, I'm here to tell you about a potential move that could make a huge difference for the Bears this season and maybe even beyond. I'm talking about the possibility of bringing in a legendary pass rusher, someone who's still available on the open market and who could immediately elevate the Bears' defense. Yes, I'm referring to none other than Von Miller. That's right, the future Hall of Famer, the guy who's been a nightmare for quarterbacks across the league for over a decade. Despite being 36 years old, Miller remains one of the most feared pass rushers in the NFL, and it's honestly surprising he's still unsigned at this point in the offseason. When you look at Miller's career, it's impossible not to be impressed. Over a 14-year span, he's racked up an incredible 129.5 sacks, a number that speaks volumes about his ability to get to the quarterback. Think about that for a second, 129.5 sacks, and he's still got plenty left in the tank. His pass rushing skills are top-notch, and what he brings to the table from day one is an instant boost to any defense. For the Bears, bringing in a veteran with Miller's experience and talent isn't just about what he can do on the field, it's about the leadership, the mentorship, and the knowledge he can pass on to the younger players on the roster. And let's be honest, the Bears are a relatively young team, especially when you look at their defensive front. They've got promising talent like Shamar Turner, Jervin Dexter Sr., and Dayo Odeyingbo, all of whom could benefit immensely from learning from a player of Miller's caliber. Imagine the impact Miller could have as a sort of player coach, guiding these young pass rushers, helping them develop their skills, understand the nuances of rushing the passer, and reading offensive lines better. It's not just about the sacks, it's about elevating the entire defensive line, creating a culture of relentless pass rush and accountability. Having a player like Miller around could accelerate the growth of the Bears' defense in ways that go beyond just his on-field production. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what about his age? Isn't he too old for a team looking to build for the future? Well, that's a fair point, but history tells us that the Bears are no strangers to signing veteran pass rushers in the twilight of their careers. Remember when they signed Jared Allen in 2014? That move paid off in a big way, as Allen brought leadership and pass rushing prowess to the front seven. And then there was Robert Quinn in 2020, a three-time Pro Bowler who was well into his 30s but still managed to be a dominant force on the edge. The Bears have a tradition of bringing in seasoned veterans late in their careers and getting solid production out of them, often with a lot to teach the younger guys. Of course, one of the biggest hurdles in signing Miller is his desire to chase another Super Bowl ring. At this stage of his career, he's probably eyeing that elusive championship, and he's not just going to sign with any team for the sake of a paycheck. He wants to contend, to compete at the highest level, and to have a real shot at winning it all again. While the Bears are making strides and look promising, they're still a bit in the building phase, and maybe, just maybe, they aren't quite on Miller's radar yet. But if the Bears get off to a hot start, if they show they're serious contenders come November, that could change everything. If they're in the thick of the playoff chase, and Miller is still available, I wouldn't be surprised if GM Ryan Poles and head coach Matt Eberflus make a push to bring him in. After all, adding a veteran pass rusher like Miller could be the final piece to a defense that's already trending upward. And let's not forget, the Bears aren't new to this kind of move. They've historically been willing to take chances on veteran pass rushers late in their careers, and those gambles have often paid off. The addition of Jared Allen brought passion and experience to the line, and Quinn's signing in 2020 brought a much-needed boost in the pass rush, especially during critical moments. These signings have helped define the Bears' approach, finding those veterans who can still produce when it counts, and who can help develop the younger talent around them. So, what's the outlook? Well, if Von Miller does come to Chicago, it could be a game-changer. Not just for his on-field impact, but for the locker room, the leadership, and the culture the Bears are trying to build. It would send a message that they're serious about contending, about pushing for the playoffs, and about winning now. It's about creating a team that plays with relentless passion and veteran savvy, and Miller fits that mold perfectly. But, of course, we have to wait and see how this unfolds. The offseason is still in full swing, and there's plenty of time for surprises. The Bears have the cap space, around $10.5 million left, and they could be looking to make a bold move before the season kicks off. The question is whether Miller's desire for one last shot at glory aligns with the Bears' plans. If it does, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Windy City host a future Hall of Famer who can make an immediate impact and help turn this promising team into a legitimate playoff contender. So, Bears fans, keep your eyes peeled. This offseason has already been full of surprises, and the potential signing of Von Miller could be the cherry on top. Imagine him in that Bears uniform, rushing the passer at Soldier Field, inspiring the next generation of defenders, and maybe even chasing that elusive Super Bowl ring. It's the kind of story that makes football so exciting: veteran leadership, relentless passion, and the pursuit of greatness. We're all eagerly waiting to see how this story develops, and I'll be here to bring you all the latest updates and insider news. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you think Miller would be the perfect addition to the Bears' defense? Or do you believe they should focus on developing their young talent and building for the future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Bears. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Chicago Bears news. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing in recent memory, and with moves like this potentially on the horizon, the Bears are certainly a team to watch. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, bear down.